everyone, welcome back to another catching up on daily life process video. So because I already had this October kit from Lizi Studio out, I did my 2018 spread and now I'm going to do my 2019 spread. I'm finding it easier to go back and forth since I already have the kits out than rather to put the kit away each time and get out a new kit and then pull this kit back out. So I am going back and forth from 2019 to 2018. And what I have in my scrapbook room, I do plan to do a scrap room tour. It's going to be postponed a little bit at this point due to the schools being closed and stuff, so my kids will be home. But on the very left-hand side of me, when I'm scrapbooking at my desk, I have my 2019 album open on a shelf that I have there. And then on the right-hand side of me, I have pulled out like a little coffee table and I have my 2018 album open there. So it's really super to go from one to the next. What I'm finding is that the month or the times that I'm working on, so currently in 2018, I'm almost done with October, whereas I'm using the same kit. This is the same time. I'm still just getting to the you can see on that card, it's just mid-October. So what I ended up doing was, I think I do maybe another spread in this October album, this 2019 album. And then I just went to the 2018 album and finished it off. I mentioned in my last video that I'm completely done with it, but I'm not the 2019. So although by the time these videos go up, I don't know where I will be. I'm not going to worry about that at this point. So it's going to work out, and I'm not worried again about finishing 2019 because I think it'll go fairly easy. This side, I do struggle with just a hair. The 2019 album, with the way I'm using the Collect app, it's super easy. And I did have a question, just so you know, with using the Collect app, you do not have to take square photos. You can take, in fact, most of the photos I take are not square photos, but mine look like a lot of them are square because they have a crop feature on that app, which I love, and you can make the photo square from there. So I thought I would just mention that in case anybody else has a question about that. So I think maybe in the middle photo, which is the photo of me and my friends at a crop, that one is still the 4x6 aspect, or the more horizontal aspect. It's not 4x6 size, but it's not a square photo, so I left it because if I would have tried to make that to a square, too much of the photo would have been cropped out. Whereas the photo on the very right hand side, you can see of my daughter, it was kind of the more horizontal type aspect rectangle, but I cropped it to be a square. So I hope that makes sense. So if you are interested in this app, you can take any kind of photo. I can't remember what else I was going to talk about. Oh, it's a little bit more of a struggle for me to do this 2019 album. I love the way it looks. The biggest struggle, though, is because I've mentioned more than once now, but because I printed all these with my Canon selfie, they're not true with the 4x6, which also means they're not true 3x4. So I do have to find a mat to put behind all of these photos. But I'm actually okay with the way it looks in the end. I kind of like that they each have their own little mat and things like that. So it works out in the end, and it is pretty cute. And the more I get into 2019, the more pictures I'm going to have, you will see. So you will kind of see that coming up. There is a chunk of 2019 between like July and August, which I need to go back and do. I'm not sure if I will record that or just show you when I do the share of the albums in the end. So this again is the same Lizi Studio kit that I used with my 2018 album. So it's the October kit, and it's got more elements in it. So with their kits, you get like this small little kit, and then they have like subscriber sales on the 10th of each month. You can add for no added shipping or anything. It's free. So they have some of their things on sale, so you can bundle it with the kits. I'm actually thinking I'm contemplating stopping getting their kits. I'm loving their kits, but I have so many other like scrapbook leftovers that I've cut down to make my own kits that I'm kind of contemplating not getting the LE Studio for a few months to use up some of those, but I'm on the fence, and I'm not gonna force myself to make that decision right now at this point in time. So one of the things that came with this kit that I didn't even think about, or at least I added as an add-on, again, I'm sorry, I'll have to make sure my phone is not in the videos for you guys, but a lot of times when I'm doing these daily life videos or these pocket albums, I reference my phone quite a bit, so I know what day goes where and what picture and the order. I don't care so much if, like, I have October 6th come after, you know, October 9th, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care if they're exactly chronological in here, but I do want to keep it as close as I can, you know. So here's where I'm cutting down one of the 6x6 paper pads that I bought, and I believe this is even from the spring collection. It was not one, and that's what I love. I don't buy all of their 6x6 pads. They have sales quite often where you can get their 6x6 pads for like $2, which is not very far off of going to Tuesday morning. So, and the colors all go together. So for this example, I love their 3x4 cards, and because I'm just covering up a lot and I just need a little border for each one, I don't want to cover up all those neat cards. In this double page spread, I am going to pull in some other 3x4 cards, and I've had questions as to where I have my other cards from. So I used to subscribe to Scraptastic, and theirs was called This Life Noted, I believe is what they called their pocket page daily life, project life kits, was This Life Noted. And I had that kit. I received that kit for a very long time. Their cards are super thick. I actually found them to be harder to use because I couldn't send them through the printer. They were just super thick. I love the thickness of them because they don't come out of the pockets as easy. But that is one place that I'm pulling them from. I have some cards that just have been from random places here and there. Some cards that you know, I've cut down from the 12x12 sheet that I didn't keep any of the rest of the collection for. So different random things like that. And so that is some of the places where I get the pocket cards from. I know if you are interested in pocket cards and you are interested in the Becky Higgins ones, Tuesday morning, at least the ones near me, are just stockpiled full of those. So that might be a place to look if you would like to have a bunch of project life cards. I don't use her cards anymore. I pretty much have gotten rid of all of hers. I don't actually have a whole lot of extra pocket life cards, or pocket cards, 3x4 cards. I don't have a ton of extra. I went through and I used to keep a bunch, and I've slowly over time, if I'm finding, you know, if I'm going through and digging through looking for like that orange one there, I can't remember if that's one from the LE Studio or an extra one, but I needed a filler card. So as I go through, if I find one that I no longer like, then I'll pull it to the side and put it in a giveaway box. So I don't have a ton extra, and I am not afraid to cut down some pattern paper to use, you know, like I'm using the 6x6 pads, which I originally purchased the 6x6 pads thinking all these embellishments, if I don't use these in the pocket pages, then I have 6x6 pairs to make a 12x12 layout with. But I am finding that I'm using all these embellishments, even the ones that came with the October kit, I'm using them for other months as well. So I am not afraid to cut down the 6x6 pads. The only thing I'm finding is that I'm ending up with a lot of 2x6 strips, but I figure one of these days when I get just a ton of them, since it's all LE Studio and they're all pretty much the same colors, same tones, I will put together maybe a page or do something fun with those. Or you can even cut those 2x6 strips down and make them mimic, kind of have the look of washi tape if you don't have any washi tape or you don't like washi tape. I like to do that sometimes with papers, is to kind of trim them down and make them look like that, or, you know, borders, anything like that. So I'm looking around here for just different sayings. Again, it's a little bit different trying to embellish these cards because they have the date on them and they have the journaling. And in some places, I even covered up the date with a sticker. One of the pictures there, which I think is covered up by the picture of my daughter, but the picture below it, I put a sticker just on almost the middle of the 3x4 card. You can see it now, and covered up the date. And I don't mind that at all. It kind of gives a little bit something more, but it doesn't, cover up the journaling. The journaling is the more important part. Here is that apple card is a good example. I needed some more cards to fill in, so that is actually one from Scraptastic. This gather one here was an LE Studio one, so I used that one. That orange one I mentioned, I can't remember if that was an old one or not, but these are just more photos, and a lot of these ones I just took off the right hand or the left hand side and added a little piece of the washi tape that I had cut up on my desk and maybe a sticker. I did have those wood veneers that was also from this month's LE Studio kit, and some of them worked, but some of them were quite large. There's some leaves there that were quite large that just weren't going to work for me, so I don't. And I think on this right hand side, whatever I do on the left-hand side, I do try to continue on to the right-hand side so that the two layouts are cohesive with each other. But I do think that I end up forgetting to use most of the wood veneer, and I think I might only use one unless I remember. I remember one page I went back and tried adding some more wood veneer, and I can't remember if I ended up doing so or not, but we will see as I go along. For this picture here, I can't remember what it says. I can't see it in the photo here, but the LE Studio, one of the sticker sheets had those big like title words that I was wondering how hard those would be used to use. And I have plenty. I don't mind saving them for a scrapbook layout, like a 12x12, but I wanted to use them on this because I have enough alphabet stickers and title stickers, and so I didn't feel like I needed to save them. So I added that one to that 3x4 card, and I actually really liked it. And then when I was going through this spread, I noticed that I had even more empty spots. So I went back through my photos from this time, and I printed up like that 3x4 of just me and my husband. And I didn't add any journaling or anything like that. And I can't remember if I stick it in here or if I just leave it just the picture. But things like that are good to add, and it just gives your eye a place to rest. That's, again, another reason I struggled just a little bit with this type of, using that Collect app and having to add a border to each one is I really wanted to add some just 3x4 cards. And here's another thing that will help with that though. I am taking the time to, some of these photos, I'm cutting down and adding just to a white piece of cardstock. So I've even taken some of the LE Studio packaging, and it's nice thick packaging, like the white sheet that says, monthly kit, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. And I've just cut it down because it's nice white, and if you flip it over, it's pure white, so it ends up being just filler or like a white border. It makes for a good white border. So take a look at your packaging and see if it would work to cut down for a 3x4 card. If the only thing you need is a white mat, then that's a perfect place to start. So I did take another filler card. I believe that one on the very left that I just put in there. I'm not going to do any embellishing on there. Again, I like to have a couple things, just no embellishing, just to have a place for your eye to rest. And that is also, I believe, a Scraptastic kit. I think it's kind of easy to tell the Scraptastic kit ones because, like I mentioned, they were so thick that it was pretty hard to miss out on those. And here is my washi tape roll. Again, I'm struggling. This one wanted to keep falling apart on me as well. So what I have decided, and you're going to see me move, I could have probably sped this part of the video up a little bit more, but when I'm gluing my stuff for the end of this roll, I'm pretty much just doing it super slow. Like not super slow, but I am being mindful of the fact that those two are not, that those are just like not staying very well. So this filler card, it was a Scraptastic one, I think. It was pretty thick, so I think it was one from Scraptastic. It had, I think those are oranges all over it, but to me it looked like it very well could be used as pumpkins or apples or something like that, and I had the card with the apples on the left-hand page, so I went ahead and used it. And then I also had those 2 ghost stickers that were on one of the LE Studio sticker sheet, and so I went ahead and I just put those 2 ghosts on there, and I think that card turned out so cute. And this is not October either, so well, okay, it is October, but it's not Halloween. And I wasn't really thinking about that when I added those on there. They were just really cute, but I'm not going to change it. I really like the way they look on there, and it uses those stickers. So I left it that way. And like I said, it's not Halloween in these photos, but it works out just fine. So again, I'm just cutting down more of the 6x6 paper pads, and I'm trying to keep to this theme. It felt like on the left-hand side, I used a lot of oranges and teals, which you wouldn't think go very well together, but it kind of seems to work on this spread. It's not a combination I would normally think of, but so I'm kind of sticking with that. And when I'm pulling out my 6x6 pads, I'm kind of looking for the oranges and the teals. And again, I had this 3x4 photo just of me. It was a selfie I took with the Snapchat, I think, app. That's a fun app to play with sometimes and get some good selfies. And so I just put it down in that bottom corner, no embellishments or anything. And because it was, I think it was just the right size. I don't remember how I printed it. Maybe I used my Epson printer or what, I'm not sure, but it worked out just fine. So it fit in there, and I didn't add any embellishments. So again, it kind of gave your eye a place to rest. So this one I glued down, and I think I realized that I glued it onto a card that was going to, for some wherever reason, the green. I didn't want the green background. I had meant to put it with a different one or something. Oh, because I think that one that I had originally glued down was going to go on the bottom row, and there was already one mounted on a green one in the bottom row. So that is, even though I do work card by card and not really as one full page, I do try to keep in mind that, you know, I don't want 2 greens together here and 2 reds together here and 2 blues together here. So I do try to spread the colors around just the same. So I'm using that same washi trick, and I have to give credit to Nicole Jones. I got the idea from her watching her videos. So a couple of people have said they really like that idea, and it works out really good. And I like the fact that it can just stick to my mat. And when I need some, I pull it up, and when I don't need it, I can just work right on over the top of it. So it's actually a really good trick. So I'm glad you guys like that trick, but I do have to give credit to Nicole Jones because I just did it because I learned it by watching you. If anybody remembers that commercial. But I think that pretty much sums up this page, and I'm going to do a couple little close-ups for you here. And again, I am so happy to be getting this done. And yeah, I added a couple little things around. So even though I said it's not Halloween, we did have the part of us at the pumpkin patch. So I guess the ghosts can go for that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and I'll see you next time. Bye.